What up, y'all, and welcome to Michigan International Speedway for the 5th race in the 2023 NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series. We're gearing up for 60 laps around this 2-mile D-shaped oval, which for a very long time held the record for the closest finish in channel history between the Jerky Pro Truck Series and Digital Storm Cup Series. Chris Dodd won that race back in 2017. The margin of victory was 14 one-thousandths of a second. We did not return to this track in Jerky Pro for a long time. Came back 2021, saw Charles Sanford get the win. So Chevy undefeated here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series at this racetrack. We did not come back last year, but we are here once again in 2023. And we've got a first-time pole sitter. Hard to believe, but yes, indeed, this is the first career pole for Delon Ibrahimian. So great qualifying effort by the number 22 Team Penske team. And Ibrahimian really needs this. He comes into this race 33rd in the point standings. So starting up front, looking for a good run. He's joined by rookie Archibald Buttersworth on the front row. Row 2, a pair of junior motorsports drivers in the form of Daniel Brown and James Ellison. Row 3, Sadin Davidson and Enzo Nareza. Row 4, Jack James and Zachary DeLello. And rounding out the top 10, you've got Winnie Calhoun and Pat Johnson. As we go through the rest of the starting order, this is a standalone race this weekend for the Jerky Pro Truck Series. There you see Peter Onjak in the 83 starting midfield. First driver to 2 wins on the season. As you see Donovan Cage starting at the rear of the field. And we'll go over those point standings as the field rolls off of pit road. So Onjak leads the point standings now, 28 points over Jessica Strauss. So first point standings lead change on the season. Max Anderson jumps up to 3rd. He's got 3 top 5s on the year. He is 35 points back of Onjak. Donovan Cage 4th in the standings, 39 back, with Jack James rounding out the top 5, 45 back. Sky Commons is 48 points back. Reggie Folgerman 49. Enzo Nareza 51. Sam Young jumps up to 9th, 53 back. And Dennis Moore rounds out the top 10, 61 points back. So we've got 60 laps of action here this afternoon, anticipating this to be a 2-stop race. And with the trucks, they do have a lower drag package this year. So we're going to expect a little bit of super speedway style racing, but due to the lower drag, we should see the drivers have to lift a little bit. And it is a multi-groove style racetrack, so you'll see drivers get some huge runs off the top side once the tire really kicks in. But it's sure to be a race of excitement. So Ibrahimian looking for what would be his first win of the season and a huge bounce back on the year from down in the dumps in the point standings. Pace truck rolls off the pit road. I'm by myself this week, and we are green flag racing from Michigan. See Corey Riggs, Hunter Braxton, the first 2 drivers to make a look 3 wide. Sadin Davidson going to do the same at the front of the field. We'll keep the overlay up here for a couple of laps just to show you how fast these trucks are going. As you can see, already up to 190 down into turn 3 on the first lap. And they are already bunched up 3 wide. Craziness at the front of the field. Make that maybe 4 wide for the race lead. Kyler Anderson's going to put a move on him. 4 wide for the lead here at Michigan. And they make this work. Ooh, a little contact between Brown and Davidson. Oh, and Kyler Anderson's going to get hooked to the inside wall. Hard contact. Caution flag is out. That was Roberto Crown Jr. who did the hooking. And I don't know if Anderson knew that he was there. Caution flag waves on lap number 2. And the 23, Winnie Calhoun, is the race leader. The field is still 3 wide Hornet's Nest right now, some 4 wide still. So get this sorted out. See, the driver's doing a really good job getting this sorted out quickly and not running into one another. Davidson and Brown pull over to allow Calhoun to retake the lead before they get to pit road. Now we'll see who is going to pit here. They only went a couple of laps. Not sure if anyone will opt to take tires here. Might be splash and go. If you pit, though, you might as well take tires. 2-lap advantage might help you later on in the run. And seeing some drivers staying out. Zachary DeLello is going to be one of them. And Brittany Turner in the 10. Also going to stay out. We'll have to see what the pace is like for Kyler Anderson. He took a heck of a hit to the inside wall. Been a long time since I've seen a vehicle get turned to the inside wall off of turn 2. And looking like everyone taking maybe fuel only here. So get y'all to a race replay. Taking a look at this in slow motion. They were 5 wide coming off the corner after Kyler Anderson slid up and allowed Roberto Crown Jr. to his inside. And you see Calhoun kind of inched up into Daniel Brown, and then Brown got into Davidson, and Davidson got set a little upset there. He get into the wall. And then, actually, yeah, Roberto just gave Kyler no room, and Kyler had no room to give to his right, and it just hooks Kyler Anderson down to the inside wall. And I mean, this is a vicious hit at a $135. See the right side tires come off the track. And Kyler able to get it wound up and back moving. I'm surprised that truck was even able to keep going straight. That was a heck of a hit. Let's take y'all to the race restart. Getting ready to go back racing. Zachary DeLello is your race leader. Brittany Turner in 2nd. Winnie Calhoun 3rd. Daniel Brown 4th. Max Anderson 5th. Archibald Buttersworth 6th. Saden Davidson 7th. Jack James 8th. Corey Riggs 9th. And Lucas Catano rounds out the top 10. Kyler Anderson is still on the racetrack. Now we'll have to see how many laps will it take for the Jerky Pro Truck Series drivers to get back to their 3 wide, 4 wide craziness. We'll go to the spectator camera angle here, which is kind of a drone camera from where we're sitting right here, as DeLello leads him to the green flag, and a great restart by the 92 truck. DeLello will, I think, barely hold on to the lead there, as they are already back to 4 wide at the front of the field. Daniel Brown, Max Anderson are racing DeLello for the race lead here on lap number 7. As you see, Brown and DeLello get a decent run off of turn 2 compared to Max Anderson, who was on the bottom 3 wide. So far, these trucks remain mostly flat out. See them carrying about 186 through the middle of 3 and 4. 3 wide, dead heat for the race lead at the start-finish line. 195 into turn 1 for DeLello. See DeLello able to hold a bit more speed off of the corner as we go to the heli cam. Daniel Brown holds a small advantage down the back straightaway into turn 3. Anderson still fighting on the inside line, as the 3 of Kyler Anderson is only hitting about a $177 down the straightaway. So far, he is within minimum speed. Is Lucas Catano going to make it a 4-wide move for second place? See him really having to check up on the inside line. Now James Ellison makes a move to his inside. They're still 4 wide by 4 wide for second and 6th place respectively. Ellison with help from Hunter Braxton, but you see he really had to check it up on that inside line. Still 4 wide as Ellison straddles the apron. Brittany Turner all the way to the outside, trying to pinch them down to preserve the most momentum she can. Daniel Brown clear to the race lead, single file in front of Zachary DeLello. Look at Max Anderson sending it up the middle of Catano and Corey Riggs through turns 1 and 2. That was ballsy. Ooh, James Ellison looking to shut the door on Davidson. Davidson cracks the throttle, lets him up. Top 3 are now single file. Now Roberto Crown Jr. challenging for 3rd place on James Ellison. We complete lap 10 of the race. So far, fastest lap belongs to Jessica Strauss, a 36.949. And they're still going crazy 4 wide at the front of the field. Ellison gonna put a move on DeLello, looking for 2nd place. Ellison comes into this race looking to jump up the point standings, 25th in the points, with just 1 top 10 so far on the season. Ellison dropped down the Jerky Pro this year after running in Digital Storm for a year, and looking to really rebound to being great. So we last saw him in the Jerky Pro Truck Series back in 2020, I believe it was. Actually, it might have been 2021. Ellison looking to come back to success down here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. And he sees his good friend of Daniel Brown currently leading this thing. Ellison unable to get a good enough run to clear Zachary DeLello. Now Ellison side by side with Roberto Crown Jr. for 3rd. Crown having a good run here so far this afternoon. So we have started to maintain green flag racing. Someone else back there with a bit of a gap. That's Sky Commons and Adam Flickinger. Not sure what happened to them. I believe they might have just lost a draft for some random reason. Let's take a look at the back of the field. You got Kate Anderson, Benjamin Ice back here. Colin Cropley, Ryan Brommer. Dennis Moore. Jack James is towards the rear of the field. Enzo Nareza, Peter Onjak, 23rd right now. See Lucas Catano stuck in the middle, 3 wide. Donovan Cage and Sam Young trying to move forward. Pat Johnson has cracked into the top 10. Now remember, everyone on that pit stop, they took fuel only. So the only ones at a minor disadvantage here right now are Brittany Turner and Zachary DeLello, but that is on fuel and fuel alone. And that is why they've been pretty much able to maintain track position from the restart. We'll be completing lap 15 this time by. That puts us a quarter of the way through today's event. So far, Daniel Brown holding strong in the race lead over Zachary DeLello, James Ellison, Roberto Crown Jr., and Brittany Turner. Actually make that Stephen Waters, as Waters took 5th place just past the start-finish line. And we're starting to single file out at the front of the field. Top 6 single file down into turn 3 with a little bit of 3-wide action behind them. As the drivers at the front are starting to crack the throttle more going into the corners. Let's watch the overlay this time by top of your screen as Ellison makes a move for 2nd once again. So a very small crack there. Now we've got a gap forming from Pat Johnson back to Hunter Braxton. Stephen Waters going to make it a 3-wide move on Ellison and Crown, as now Crown moves up to 3rd by passing Ellison on the outside through turns 1 and 2. Now Ellison in a tricky spot here. Almost put in a 3-wide position there by Waters and Pat Johnson. As the leaders are about to catch up to Kyler Anderson. Oh, and there's a crash in turn 1. Caution flag is out once again here on lap 18. Will Daniel Brown catch Kyler Anderson before the lap is complete? If he does, he'll get his lap back anyway. And it doesn't look like he will. Daniel Brown will be your race leader here. 2nd caution flag of the race. And Chris Harvey involved. Dale Johnson. Benjamin Ice is destroyed. He's missing a fender on the right front tire. His day likely over. Peter Onjak, your points leader coming into today's race. David Dixon in the 98. He's also missing a fender. This looks like it might have been a bad accident. So let's take a look at the replay. Now Chris Harvey is on the bottom, almost 4 wide with Dale Johnson, and it looks like maybe he adjusted his line a little bit. Oh no, he just got run over. He checked up and got run over by the 20 of Dale Johnson, and that sends Johnson right up in the Peter Onjak. Jessica Strauss gets involved in this too. And then David Dixon gets clipped by the back end of Dale Johnson. You see Benjamin Ice involved as well. And oh wow, that launched, hang on, that launched Peter Onjak's car up into the air. Look at this. The 98 goes straight up into the passenger side and sandwiched Peter Onjak up against the outside wall and flipped Peter Onjak upside down. What a bizarre accident. We saw Benjamin Ice also involved in this incident. But a scary accident for points leader Peter Onjak as he slides down the banking in turn 2. And does he get to flip back over thanks to the grass? And the answer is just about, as Adam Flickinger goes by. Same with Sky Commons. But Peter's day is over, and we'll have to wait and see if he maintains the points lead after this race. We've got an onboard or two for this one. On board with 93 of Benjamin Ice. You see Ice just really had nowhere to go. Was riding behind David Dixon there. And the truck starts sliding down the banking. There's not much you can do. He was probably foot to the floor there, hoping he made it by in time. Instead, his race is over. Get ready for a wild ride on board with Peter Onjak. Fortunate that truck ended up coming to rest there on all 4 tires, but a scary incident for the points leader here at Michigan. Getting ready to go back racing after our second caution of the race. We'll have 38 laps to go. Daniel Brown is still your race leader after pit stops. Zachary DeLello is second. James Ellison third. Stephen Waters fourth. Pat Johnson fifth. Hunter Braxton, Brittany Turner, Donovan Cage, Roberto Crown Jr., and Sam Young round out the top 10. Out of the race from the accident, David Dixon, Peter Onjak, and Benjamin Ice. Jessica Strauss, Chris Harvey, and Dale Johnson all continue after repairing their damage. So 38 laps to go. Everyone's still going to have to pit one more time. We had a pretty good green flag run there. About, I think, 14 laps or so. So we'll have to see if the field can give us another good one here as we're back racing. So that green flag run likely just long enough for teams to really figure out what they might need to change. So we'll have to see if any adjustments were made that help some drivers out here in this next run. Maybe other drivers not so fortunate with their adjustments and start to go backwards. Side by side for the race lead, 1 lap after the restart. Daniel Brown being challenged by Stephen Waters as they're 4 wide behind him. Brittany Turner all the way down on the bottom next to Davidson, Pat Johnson, and James Ellison. Ooh, a little bit of contact, a little bit of wiggling by Saden Davidson as Stephen Waters takes the race lead away from Daniel Brown. Brown back to the inside of Waters into turn 3, looking to challenge back as Roberto Crown Jr. closes up behind them, looking to maybe make it 3 wide for the lead. Brittany Turner just about to Crown's inside, makes it 4 wide for the lead on lap 25. Waters clears the 4 wide mess behind him as now Braxton and Davidson are making contact mid-corner. They're still making contact. Around goes Brittany Turner. Daniel Brown involved. Zachary DeLello, Hunter Braxton are around. And somehow, some way, that accident wasn't a lot bigger. Racing back for the 3rd caution, Stephen Waters will be your race leader. As the top 5 just got completely shuffled from that incident. Waters, Nareza, Fogelman, the top 3. Crown Jr. and Max Anderson rounding out the top 5. Cautions breed cautions, and the aggression is always at the top of the scale here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. Let's take a look at the replay. We're going to watch this focused on the 10 of Brittany Turner, but watch Saden Davidson because I believe that's where this incident starts. You see there's a bit of a gap between the 10 and the 87, and Davidson's kind of looking like he's going towards that, and that creates a borderline 5 wide right off the corner that Crown doesn't really know about. Sees it at the last second, makes contact with Daniel Brown off of turn 2, turning Brown down into Brittany Turner, and that turns them back up into Zachary DeLello, and around they go. You see contact with Hunter Braxton. James Ellison hard on the brakes. He might have got just a tiny scrape of that, but I don't think any significant damage to the 9. Oh, and then Colin Cropley just missed Hunter Braxton on the apron. And that was the extent of the accident. It looks like Hunter Braxton got the worst of it. But, man, tough break for DeLello and Brittany Turner. They were both having a great day. Same with Braxton up at the front of the field. A lot of good trucks at the front of the field. Pat Johnson, just an unfortunate situation. We've got one onboard to take for this one. On board with the number 9 of James Ellison. I don't think Ellison touched the 92. You couldn't fit a piece of paper between his truck and the 92, but I think he got scot-free here. Just great reaction time by James Ellison on this one. Getting ready to go back racing. We will have 32 laps to go, so just about halfway through this one. Race leader is Stephen Waters. Enzo Nereza now second. Reggie Fogelman third. Roberto Crown Jr. fourth. And Max Anderson fifth. Saden Davidson, Gatlin Downey, Lucas Catano, Sam Young, and James Ellison round out the top 10. As Brittany Turner has called it a race, she is done for today. Tough break for her. Was running top 5. The result will be 39th. As Daniel Brown, Pat Johnson, Hunter Braxton all continue the race. Zachary DeLello as well, with damage from that third caution. So we've got some new names up here leading this thing because of that incident. Now we get to see what their truck can do at the front of the field. Enzo Nereza looking to the inside of Stephen Waters here for the race lead. As we come to lap number 30. So far, every restart, the leader on the restart has made it back around to lead that first lap. So I don't know if that's leaders getting just really good restarts, or if because of the lower drag, it has lessened the impact of draft and is allowing these drivers to hold the race lead. Another thing to point out is that no moves are being made from the second place truck until they're coming off of turn 4. 3 wide behind Waters, just about there for second. Make it 2 wide, make it clear Roberto Crown Jr. into second place. As mentioned on the grid, Chevy has won both of the races at this track in the Truck Series history. Toyota, Ram, looking to change that. They've got a couple trucks here at the front of the field. Waters, specifically for Toyota, leading this one for Evans Gardner Motorsports. And then behind Waters, you've got Enzo Nereza and Lucas Catano for Bulldog Motorsports. Right now, the highest Ford is Max Anderson, Dylan Ibrahimian closely behind him. Top 4 single files. Now Davidson makes a move on Downey into turn 1 for third. And Roberto Crown Jr. looks to make a move mid-corner on Stephen Waters for the race lead. Going to get right up against that left rear quarter panel. You see Crown just not really able to hold it on the bottom. See Waters get kind of tight as well, though. Now 4 wide behind them is Downey, Anderson, the 47 of Usman Hamid having a good run, and the 22 of Dylan Ibrahimian, who was our pole sitter this afternoon. So far, that outside line seems to be strong. Ooh, Hamid really tight on the inside of Max Anderson. Checks up, prevents disaster. Ooh, now Roberto thought he could get in line, but Nereza is to his outside. So far the field, mostly single file at the front. Davidson now challenging Waters for the race lead. As Dale Johnson has parked it, fresh off the restart. He went not even a lap, realized his truck wasn't up to pace, and he parked it. And now I'm hearing that the 19 of Chris Harvey has been parked for not making minimum speed. So that will leave us with 36 trucks on the track. For the lead, Saden Davidson with a nose on Waters off of turn 2, but Waters with the momentum and draft from Enzo Nereza down the back straightaway, looking to maintain position. As they're 4 wide behind the leaders once again. Fogelman down on the apron as Nereza stays committed to pushing Stephen Waters here. Nereza clear of Davidson into turn 1. Will he make a move of his own? Yes, he will. Just going to make a slow move to the inside of Waters. Trying to stay hugged up as close to the 16 as possible to maintain his momentum. But you see Waters just gets enough of a run to clear NRSL off of turn 2. Now NRSL side by side with Davidson for second place. As Dylan Ibrahimian with a heck of a move to the inside of Gatlin Downey off of turn 4 behind them. Now Davidson going to look to the inside of Waters. Gets space from NRSL 3 wide for the race lead. Make it 2 wide into turn 1. "25 laps to go here at Michigan, so we're officially in the window to make it on fuel as Davidson clears Waters for the race lead. Davidson has struggled to qualify for Digital Storm races so far this year, looking for a fantastic run here in Jerky Pro. NRSL challenging back, looking to the inside of Waters and Davidson into turn 3. NRSL really has to check up in the middle of the corner, but he still gets a good run here off of turn 4. 3 wide for the race lead to the start-finish line. Oh, Davidson is clear, as it looks like we are under caution for the 4th time today. And I'm hearing debris on the racetrack. So not sure where that debris came from, but it brings out our 4th caution of the race. And with that, everyone here will not have to worry about a green flag pit stop this afternoon. Davidson leads here under caution. Let's take you all to the restart to see who will be leading them to the green flag. Getting ready to go back green here after our 4th caution. This one for debris, aka a phantom yellow. 20 laps to go here at Michigan. Can they make it to the end in green flag conditions? Stephen Waters is your leader. Davidson second. NRSL third. Josh King in 4th, with Lucas Catano rounding out the top 5 in 5th. Downey, Ibrahimian, Cropley, Ellison, Roberto Crown Jr. the top 10. And it's Josh King the first to make a move here into turn 1. So far, the race leader on the restart makes it back around to lead the first lap back under green. And it looks like that might be maintained here as Josh King is putting a move on Saden Davidson for second. Maybe not. No, King's got a huge run on Stephen Waters looking for the race lead. And he'll take it. Josh King with a huge run after restarting in 4th. And after 3 restarts of the leader leading the first lap back on the green, Josh King breaks it here on the 4th restart and leads a lap after restarting 4th. Gatlin Downey followed him by Waters to take second place. Now here comes James Ellison looking for 3rd on Waters, up from 9th place on the restart. Toyota versus Chevy, top to bottom. Downey with the edge into turn 1. Ellison gets a little snug. He backs it up. Davidson now drops to the bottom behind the 9. Gatlin Downey looking for his first career Jerky Pro Truck Series win still. He's been in the series for many seasons. Could today be the day? James Ellison has something to say about it. He noses ahead of Downey there at the start-finish line. Gets his first lap led on the race. As now here comes Colin Cropley to his inside. Cropley, though, checks up. Ellison clear of the 45. As they are back to their 3 wide, 4 wide craziness. Ellison just jumped right in front of Downey, and Downey had a good enough of a run. He'll go to the inside of the 9. But you can see Ellison wants to be on that outside groove. It's the ideal defensive position, as Cropley and Jack James are going to make it almost 4 wide for the lead, make it 4 wide for second. As Ellison and King got a good run there. Max Anderson, what are you doing? Making it 5 wide into turn 1. Contact between Waters and Catano. Puts Catano in the wall. Oh, and Downey just tried to clear himself in front of Josh King. He's around. Max Anderson's around. They're piling in. Ron Bishop, Roberto Crown Jr., Brad Lewis. A melee on the back straightaway. Oh, you got damaged trucks approaching. Look out. Hunter Braxton snaking his way through this mess. 5th caution of the race, and your race leader with 15 to go is James Ellison. Man, oh man, at first glance it looked like Downey just tried to clear himself over Josh King, but King's nose was there. We'll have to get a different angle of that and check it out here on the replay. So you saw right at the entry of the corner, Max Anderson went for a hole between Jack James and Colin Cropley. Now that sent Cropley up the track in the Waters, and Waters up into Nereza and Catano, which ultimately sent Catano up into the outside wall. But they were still 5 wide, and now Josh King was actually kind of hugging Gatlin Downey here off of turn 2. And just when you thought they were clear, they're still making contact. And Josh King just kind of got himself run up into the outside wall, sending him and Downey around. That sends Cropley into Max Anderson and spins Max Anderson around. And at this point, there's one little hole to go through, and otherwise the track is blocked. As they started piling in behind, you see Skylar Taylor, Jessica Strauss, they got run over by somebody, and that sent Corey Riggs into this, Eric Monaco, Sky Commons, Ron Bishop. Catano ends up getting involved. Brad Lewis, Roberto Crown Jr., Pat Johnson, all in this one. We back it up, try to see like how this stack up really started, and it looks like Skylar Taylor was the first one hit. And yeah, Jessica Strauss turned out of the smoke, runs into her teammate of Skylar Taylor, and then Fogelman gets into Strauss, and that just sends them into Riggs and the Monaco. Kate Anderson, Sky Commons, Adam Flickinger all have just no time to slow down at this point. And it's the big one here at Michigan. Sam Young gets a piece of the 87 as well. We got some onboards. On board with Sam Young. Just clips Roberto Crown Jr. On board with Donovan Cage. Just makes it through the incident. On board with Lucas Catano. He just, I don't know if his visor was blinded from the steam of anger after being put in the wall, but he just had a ton of time to slow down there, and he just waited too long and he had nowhere to go. Getting ready for our 5th restart of the race. We'll have 11 laps to go, and I'm praying that they are green flag laps. James Ellison is your race leader. We saw teammate Daniel Brown lead a good chunk of this race earlier. Now another Junior Motorsports truck leading it at the end. He's got Jack James in 2nd place behind him. Ousmane Hamid in 3rd. Donovan Cage 4th. Saden Davidson 5th. Stephen Waters 6th. Pole sitter Dylan Ibrahimian is 7th, followed by Jim Ganton up to 8th, Ryan Brommer 9th, and Cade Anderson rounds out the top 10. Out of the race from that incident, the 25 of Reggie Fogelman. So we've got 35 trucks on the track. We'll have to see how many are up to speed. We've got 11 laps to go, and we are 11 laps away from finding out who's going to win this race. So far, only move this lap is Cage on Hamid for 3rd. As you see, so many trucks now with some minor damage has really spread this pack out here on this first lap. 10 laps to go there at the start-finish line. James Ellison, before moving up to Digital Storm Cup a year or two ago full-time, was the veteran of this series. We saw him get his first career win at, I believe it was Bristol Dirt, and a second win later that same season. That was the last time he visited Victory Lane on the channel. Looking to return to Victory Lane today for what would be his 3rd career win in the NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series. But he's got the man to beat behind him, Donovan Cage. Remember, Cage started at the rear of the field and has worked his way up through all the madness to fight for this win. But he is still 3rd in line behind Jack James and James Ellison. Side by side for 4th is Usman Hamid and Saden Davidson, as Cage will make the move on Jack James into turn 1. Cage even with the 13, but he's got no draft help here down the back straightaway. The field really spread out now. James able to get enough of a run to hold on for 2nd. Hamid getting a little tight. Davidson looking to his inside there for 4th. Sticks back in line. 7 laps to go. And I'm hearing Ron Bishop has parked it for the race. And potentially Lucas Catano and Gatlin Downey as well. Cage looking for 2nd place again, but can't get it to stick. Cage is looking for what would be his 2nd win of 2023 and 10th win of his Truck Series career, which would put him just 2 wins behind Baranauskas on the all-time wins list. Cage known for his dominance on speedway tracks here in Jerky Pro, has yet to make an effort to run in the Digital Storm Cup Series. He's made a name for himself in Norm Benning Racing down here, got the team sponsorship from Monster Energy, Progressive, and Lowe's a couple of years ago after his multi-win season. And those sponsors have stuck around. 5 to go here. Cage in the middle of a 3 wide with Hamid and Davidson, as there's a huge gap back from 12th to 13th. Davidson checks up. Hamid takes 3rd on the outside line. Meanwhile, Jack James looking for any run he can get to make a move on James Ellison. 4 laps to go, this time by at Michigan. "32 trucks on the track. Only these 12 up here at the front are racing for top 10, top 5 positions. And it's so hard to pass now unless you've got draft with the tire wear. You know, all these cautions, the one thing that they prevented from happening today was strategy on tires. Cage once again side by side now with Usman Hamid for third, trying to take the position back. Cage with an edge on Hamid here off of turn 4 behind him. Davidson putting a move on Waters for 5th. 2 laps to go here at Michigan. Remember, Peter Onjak is finishing 41st, so everyone but Benjamin Ice gaining points on him today, and drivers such as Ellison, James, and Cage are looking to gain the most they can. Cage clears Usman Hamid for third there off of turn 2. Jack James has been unable to get any sort of run here on the 9. White flag in the air for James Ellison. Can he hold on for one more lap? Into turn 1, Ellison running a lower line. James trying to get a run off of turn 2. Instead, that opens the door for Cage to challenge for second. Cage doesn't have a run, though. He files in line behind the 13. Into turn 3. It's been a rough first 4 races for James Ellison, minus the 1 top 10. But today, he is going to go back to victory lane for the 3rd time in his Jerky Pro Truck Series career. James Ellison is a winner here today at Michigan. Ellison becomes the 11th driver in series history to win 3 races. Jack James just didn't have enough to get a run on him. He comes home 2nd. Donovan Cage 3rd. Usman Hamid 4th. Saden Davidson 5th. Great top 5 runs for those rookies. Stephen Waters 6th. Dylan Ibrahimian 7th. Jim Ganton 8th. Enzo Nareza 9th. And Ryan Brommer rounds out the top 10. So the Jerky Pro Truck Series is going to be off for another month. And we'll be back at Talladega for doubleheader weekend there. That'll be the weekend after the All-Star race in Digital Storm. And that's when things will really start to pick up here. 10 races left on the calendar. So just a third of the way through. 4 different winners so far this season. 2 being first-time winners in Jessica Strauss and Peter Onjak. So we'll see what kind of momentum Ellison can get from this W, how high and the points he can climb with Onjak's bad day. One thing I can say, Ellison came into this race 92 points behind Peter Onjak, and he gained 58 points with this win. Donovan Cage might have taken the points lead actually with his 3rd place finish, so I think he might be the points leader. Ellison gaining only 9 points on him, so still a long way to go there. But it's going to get fun here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. So with that said, here come your full race results and point standings after the 5th race of the season. Peace out and signing off.